guys? Welcome back. Today we have another Jurassic World Evolution video, and this time I recreated Site B, Isla Sorna, in the way that I thought would make sense if it were to actually become a park. So let's get into this. Starting with your arrival, you arrive, you immediately got an aviary to your left. You got 3 hotels, hatchery, restroom, medical center, response, control center, all that good stuff. But if you look inside the aviary, we got pterodons, um, and this just makes sense because of the Jurassic Park 3 scene. Uh, the bird cage of death, actually. You can't put in the walking part, so I just put in a viewing gallery for people to see them. But the rest of the park is only accessible by this park route. I have 2 of them. And that's because in the original Jurassic Park, there was not really anywhere for you to get out and walk. You were always on this route. So I thought that's what they would do on Isla Sorna too, and it is what I did. So coming straight out of your park route, you'll run into Stegosaurus. Um, these are obviously like one of the first dinosaurs you see in the Lost World Jurassic Park. So I had to add them. Very cool creatures with their like leaf-looking things on their back, and then you got the spikes on the tail. Um, then you'll head over here. You're immediately put into another paddock, but we'll get that in a second. Once you get here, you'll be able to see the big guy, the Spinosaurus from JP3. Just an absolute menace to society, and he's definitely one of the most well-known dinosaurs on Isla Sorna, so I had to add him. He's got this big old enclosure to himself just because he doesn't like anything. Back to the tour route. In this paddock, you'll see Gallimimus. I don't remember seeing them on Sorna, but I googled it and it said they were. So we have a bunch of Gallimimuses, or Gallimimusi, or whatever you want to call them. And then you got Brachiosaurus. You got 2 of them in this paddock. They got a pretty big paddock over here. All this stuff is their room. Following the tour route, you get put over here, and in this enclosure we have another long neck, Mammachirosaurus. Definitely not pronouncing that right, but that's just how it came off, so that's how we're saying it. And then we got the Edmontosaurus. Also don't remember them, but I googled both, and they both were apparently on Sorna, so put them in. We actually have 4 of the Mammachirosaurus, the big ones, and we have at least 7. I think 7 of them. No, we have 10, which is crazy. I don't remember having 10, but I guess I do. They had this entire paddock. Cars are going a little slow because they don't want to wake up the dinosaurs because that'd be rude. If you're seeing that amenity coverage low, I really have no amenities just because all I was going to work with was this small area back here, and that didn't seem like I was going to be able to get a bunch in there, so I just left it. And then that first route will end back in the Stegosaurus paddock. Wasn't a whole lot to work with. That's what came in pre. This route was here before I started the island, so I just went with it. Then I added this route, and this route is the longer one that'll take you out through the rest of the park. So you'll start in that same paddock with the Edmontosaurus and the Mammosasaurus, whatever you call them. You'll follow that. You'll go through here. This is where things get really interesting. So this paddock is home to the Velociraptors. Now, we have both JP3 and Lost World Jurassic Park raptors in here. So here you can see we got a female JP3 raptor. Go to this one. We have a Lost World raptor. And then we have our Alpha Raptor, which is a JP3 male raptor, which just in my opinion, makes sense because those definitely seem like the scarier ones, and it's a male, so it just makes sense for the pack rules and all that stuff. Um, but they have this giant enclosure to work with. Um, Another, we got a sleeping Lost World raptor. But I think that's just one of the cooler paddocks just because of how big a role they played in those movies. Um, but when that first or when that second tour route comes over here, they'll enter into another paddock with Paraphosphorus. They're from the Lost World, the big old hunting scene or capturing scene when Ingen first gets on the island. You got quite a few of them. And obviously, the park route gets you in the closure because they're herbivores, so there's not really a big enough threat like the velociraptors or any of the other carnivores. Um, Take you through here, this gate, and on your left, you'll have Carnotaurus. You'll have four of them. Um, and then somewhere in this paddock, there are compies. Here they are. You got a bunch of compies. Just because you know how big of a scene it was at the beginning of The Lost World, the whole little girl thing. So, you know, they had to get added somewhere, and I chose the Carnotaurus paddock. The Carnotaurus will walk up right along the fence. It'll roar at the tourists, but it can't get out of this gate. It won't. Um, Now, this route, this is their entire cage. So, I mean, they have a very long and thin cage, and I hate that that's the way I had to make it, but it is. It's the only way I could get them on the island and fit. So, let's continue down the route. It'll take you straight into a Triceratops paddock. You got a lot of them. How many of them? Six, five. You got six of them? Yeah, you got six of them in here. Um, the route will take you along, and if you look to your right when you're in the paddock, you'll see a cage full of Dilophosaurus. There's quite a few of them in here. Once again, like I said in my Jurassic World video, it's just a staple of the Jurassic Park movies, so had to add them in. I really like their enclosure. It's kind of off on the edge of the island. Quite a bit of forest. They got water over here. They got water underneath these trees. Get back on the route, and you'll get sent into a cage of Pachycephalosauruses. Got a lot of them, like the butt heads. I like this one just from the texture of the land, how the water rises up here a little bit. Yeah. And then is where you meet the T-Rexes. So we got 3 T-Rexes in total. Here we have Buck from the Lost World. He's got that greenish tint to him, so you can just see. And then over here you have Doe from Lost World, the mom. Nope. I guess that was the problem. Let's just patch that up real quick. Didn't know there was a little hole there. Missed that. Alright, you got Doe. She's the mother. She's the mother from the Lost World. They did not have a skin color available for the baby from the Lost World. So the best I could do was... Where'd he go? There he is. This dinosaur, this is technically the T-Rex that lost the Spinosaurus in JP3, but a lot of people theorize that it is the baby from the Lost World, which would suck, but anyways, we have that one. So we have all the Sorna Sorna T-Rexes back here in their own enclosure. Yeah, so this route will take you right along. You'll be able to see them. Get back into the Triceratops. Then you go back along the Carnotaurus paddock and the Compy paddock. Here you go. Now you got 3 of them right here. Then once you get back up here, you're next to the raptor paddock. Um, Raptors are going to be pretty hard to see just because of their sheer size and how big their paddock is. They can be pretty much anywhere in there, but if you get lucky, you get right here, and you can see one eaten right here. Um, I did try to put their feeders along the edge so it would be easier for the tour to see them. But if you go over here, we do have a paddock of, I think, five baryonyx. Uh, Once again, I googled it and it said they were on the island, so I went with it. Um, they got this pretty large enclosure with quite a bit of water because of their just how they live. Yeah, there you go. You got two of them eating right here. I actually love the baryonyx design. Uh, Similar to a Spinosaurus, just without the fin on the back. I think Baryonyx is a pretty cool character, just even from watching Fallen Kingdom. Um, Back to the tour though. You go past all them, and then you're back into the Mammothesaurus enclosure, and yeah. So then you go back through here, and once you're there, the tour ends, and you've seen every dinosaur on the Lost World. Um, or not Lost World, on Isla Sorna, which Lost World takes place on. But I really like this build. I'll give you an overhead view. Got all these. You got here. Velociraptor, Parasaurolophus, Baryonyx, Carnotaurus, Triceratops, Dilophosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus. Then you got the T-Rex cage. Um, Another thing that I thought was cool was they added this little Easter egg. You got the runway from Jurassic Park 3. You got the compound up there. Can't really get any closer, but you got the compound. And then way in the back, you can kind of see the aviary. I really wish we could get back there and use that aviary, but the game doesn't allow it, so that sucks. That was another problem I had with this one was I really wanted to put the aviary back here, but to create the dinosaurs, you needed to have a hatchery, and in order to have a hatchery, you need to have a path connected to the main park, which means I would have had to have a walkway all the way through here, back through here, and all the way back to the arrival point, which I didn't really feel like doing, and I felt like would take away from the experience of the ride, because if you could walk instead of the ride, then you wouldn't be in the ride. And I didn't want to add a monorail because that felt cheap, and that wasn't around during when Ingen was on Isla Sorna, so I just kept it true to the cars, and I thought I did a very good job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.